Hello all, welcome to the new Design Quotient E-Meet. This is our 25th E-Meet that we are organizing with the design professionals. Um, Today we have Mr. Gokul, okay, an industrial designer and an entrepreneur with us, all right. So before we deep dive into understanding the journey of Mr. Gokul, would like to give a small brief about why we are doing or why we are organizing these industry e-meets. Right? So to begin with, DQ Labs, Design Quotient Labs deeply believes that design has the power to make the lives of millions of people simple, beautiful, efficient, and memorable. So with this belief, the founders of DQ Labs, Sean Disa and myself, Umesh Kumar, we are alumni of IIT Delhi, having a collective design industry experience of about 49 years, have embarked on a journey to create design superheroes. In the last 13 years, we have mentored more than 12,000 students in creative careers, and we are trying to achieve it by giving awareness, exposure, counseling, training, and mentoring to design aspirants, not only to get into top architecture, design, and fashion schools across the world, but also going beyond to help them settle in their professional careers. Many aspiring design students and their parents are unaware of the creative professions and hence have many questions. To bridge this gap, each week, DQ Labs invites creative professionals in the field of architecture, fashion, and design. The invited creative professionals will be explaining about one of their projects, the challenges that they have gone through while executing their design projects, the design process they had adopted, and many more such interesting aspects of their profession. They will also talk about their own story of becoming who they are now. So, today's design professional is Mr. Gokul. Gokul is founder and managing director of MGH Labs Private Limited. He is an industrial designer and entrepreneur. His flawless academic record, diverse experience, and approach towards complex problem solving has taken him to great heights. His startup, being incubated under IIT Madras, has just launched the first product in the market. He has also carried out a small car project for Datsun-Nissan automobile company as a styling lead. Mr. Gokul has done his master's in industrial design from IIT Delhi in the year 2002. So, welcome Gokul Rajashekaran. We are very glad to have you here, and we are very excited to listen to your story, your design story, your journey. And we have had many interesting design professionals in the past, also from IIT Delhi, our own alumni. And we had great experiences of sharing the knowledge. And we are looking forward to this session. And once again, welcome Gokul Rajshekaran.
Thank you, Mr. Umesh, and thanks again to DQ Labs, and thank you to all the people who have logged in now, trying to be a part of this discussion. And so, to go ahead to start, I think we this forum is more of design. So, getting back, I mean, getting directly to that topic. And so, what to share is what was my perspective about design, and how this design skill has been useful for me, and how I have been using this design skill in this business and industrial environment. So, like this quick introduction Umesh gave, so I would like to just run through that my career path. I graduate in mechanical engineering and postgraduate in industrial design from IIT Delhi. After passing through IIT, then I got to a company named Hero Honda, which is uh, India's one of the leading two-wheeler motorcycle manufacturer, and globally also one of the largest manufacturer of motorcycles. And the design and technology has been primarily be provided by Honda. So I was working for all the design projects under the mentoring of Honda designers. And to just tell about the crux of the experience was actually working with Honda designers like Mr. Hiroyuki Mio-san, uh, who was the chief designer of Hero Honda Splendor, which is one of the runaway success vehicles in the whole world, which has been sold in maximum numbers as a single uh, model of a two-wheeler uh, in this whole probably planet. And I had an opportunity to work with him and learn with him about, and I did my first experiments on designs with him under the guidance of Neo-san. And then after that, I happened to work on a couple of projects for Hero Honda, which has all been a very successful ventures or like products which has got a good amount of profitability to the company. And after that stint, my next stint was with Tata Elxsi, which is India's largest design industrial design firm, which had various kind of services under its umbrella. And in that, I was working into this automotive wing, automotive services. So my projects have been primarily with uh, Nissan and with Tata Motors, and a couple of projects with Triumph and Jaguar Land Rover. So with the Nissan, my work was more to support them onto this uh, styling area where I was supporting them on developing the final surfaces for their production models of vehicles. And mainly it was a CAD intensive work where we worked as a team with the designers to generate the final surfaces. That means that's the final kind of a look and feel and manufacturability and uh, whatever it is you say, that's the final surface we deliver. That's the fullest responsibility we take, and that's the uh, kind of detailed level of work uh, we do. And that's kind of one of the solid experience. Like I said, my first experience was working with a research level within a Hero Honda company and coming up till a definition of a product and taking that to phase of sketching. So we stopped as a very junior designer. And then my next experience was working with um, global designers, the senior designers, to bring the final concept design into reality. So this was the experience, and then the third was with Tata Motors, where we started building full-fledged vehicles fully made in India, and this particular segment was for their uh, defense application um, division of Tata Motors. The kind of projects what I was handling was we are building a Humvee. Humvee means it's like a Hummer branded. Humvee is like a high utility military vehicle or whatever. So our challenge was to make a vehicle competent towards Humvee. Here, when we say designing a vehicle is not use skin design or surface design, it's about giving a product. Like our brief was Tata Motors has to spend around 1.5 crores plus to get one vehicle purchased and inducted into Indian Army. And our task was to try to make at least four vehicles in that price. That means one fourth of the cost. So we took the challenge and we worked from the scratch to the sketch to packaging to ergonomics to layouting various versions. Like there are literally 17 versions in the vehicle, and a version here means like the vehicle is being converted into a recce vehicle where a pilot vehicle with combat of military men get into a hostile zone to figure out information about the enemy's plan, and they are the first people to enter into this zone, combat zone. And starting from that recce vehicle, we have various options like signal jammers, communication vehicles, troop carriers, ammunition carriers, anti-aircraft gun carriers, and heavy machine gun carriers, and mini rocket launchers, mini grenade launchers, and water tanks, uh, like kind of ambulances, so various kind of vehicles. So this was like complete, there's an agenda that we have to make a vehicle, and we have been given an existing platform from Tata Motors range of product, and then there is an option of engines to choose. So what do we do is we take out the whole in a process of automotive design, right from the planning sketches, go planning, aggregate packaging, and how a designer, how I see is I work with various teams to get the desired output, what I want to give it as a final impression about how the vehicle has to be look like and what is the utility point of view. So that was a fantastic experience I had with Tata Motors making the vehicle. You can search in the net typing like Tata LSP. That means Life Specialist Vehicle. So you will have a lot of videos of how it has been tested and the performance of the vehicles and how it looks like. And the continuation from Tata LSV, which means Light Specialist Vehicle, and moved on to a heavy specialist vehicle in the same Tata motor. And that was again one vehicle which is being designed on an uh, 8 by 8. That means field artillery tractor. It's like a eight wheels drive vehicle which is used to tow a Bofors gun and carry a gun troop, and that was a primary application. Along with that one, the truck mm, is used for various applications like I explained earlier. So this was the two products. And then the next product I was working was with, in these two products, I was actually responsible for the end design delivery to the Tata Motors, working from Tata Lex.
Right. Gokul, shall I share my screen to show the Tata LSV?
Yes, you want me to share the
Yeah,
screen?
you can also share, or if you have a presentation, you can please do share.
Mm, yeah. I'll share the same. So
Yeah.
what you see, I just like opening it directly from the website so that people having a look and always search this material. This is available in online. So the picture what you see is the LSV on the right hand side top, and this basic platform is built on the Tata 407, and this is how
Right.
the vehicle looks like.
So the primary purpose is for military use, right? For
Yeah,
yeah.
the primary purpose is for the, like I said, it's like an army vehicle. It's a up armor. It's a bulletproof vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
So it has got all the characteristics of a Humvee actually, and at the very low price as compared to the Humvee.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
And I'll also try to get the image of Tata HSV, which heavy specialist vehicle, which I was
Mm-hmm.
talking about. So I'll share, and meanwhile I'll move on further, as I think there is.
Yeah, sure. So, Gokul, for the LSV vehicle, as a industrial designer,
Yeah.
what were your job and role?
Okay. So as an industrial designer, my job was um, I was actually the lead for delivering the body design.
Mm-hmm.
The input given to me was existing chassis of a vehicle
Mm-hmm.
with an engine mounted on it and gearbox, and that's it. That was the input we are given. So my responsibility was to visualize a vehicle based on the requirement list. Like the requirement list was a typical military application requirement, and there is a requirement that has to pass on various test conditions. And in terms of design requirements, like what is the application requirements, like approach angle, departure angle, belly clearance angle,
Mm-hmm.
and how many troops it should carry, what is the provision for making it armored, and how it can clear to these radar signatures, and and we have to meet to the ergonomics of operator, and usability in the sense like ingress, egress, quick ingress, egress in case of extreme conditions, how quick you can get in and get out of the vehicle,
Mm-hmm.
and these are all these conditions and criteria. So what do we do is typically make all these criteria as kind of uh, a layout which measures, which represents the constraint, and we place it in our worksheet. Like for example, if I'm going to work out a sketch, I use all these layers in my Photoshop, so that I keep in mind that my sketch or my lines um, should keep in all these points in mind, and then I need to make a design. So then I start doing that one, and then that sketch I need to translate into a surface model where I do myself with my team, and then the surface model has to be validated for various aspects like manufacturability, serviceability, usability, and military experts. They do come from the field front, and then they give the inputs. Once all these inputs are captured, my next phase is convert it into a Delhi manufacturable design, and then I hand over the design to the engineering design department, which they who does the detail engineering and prototyping and further on. So my role was from the design, the brief from the customer till delivering the final surfaces to the engineering team.
That's cool. So how long was this project, like in terms of duration?
This design, till delivering the design, it took around 7 months,
Okay.
and the first industrial design part it took around 2.5 months,
Mm-hmm.
and then the engineering detailing and analysis and safety analysis and all these things takes around another 3 months. So then the drawing release happens for the prototype,
Mm-hmm.
and the prototype was done in 2 months time, and the end-to-end project completion was around 11 months, 11, 10 to 11 months,
Oh wow. Okay.
taking it consideration that the chassis is readily available,
Right.
but rest of all are new. So it was like a cycle time was 11 to 12 months to deliver the production vehicle. Here we say it's production vehicle because there is no major tooling, heavy tooling required when it comes to army vehicle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's why I say it's around 11 to 12 months. If there is a heavy tooling required, the shortest possible time to deliver and manufacture any vehicle is around 18 months, the shortest possible.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so here is no tooling up, so we did in 11 months. Now it is inducted into the Indian Army, and Tata Motors also started selling the vehicles to our neighbors like Pakistan, Bangladesh, and
Oh,
Sri
interesting.
Lanka.
Okay.
So my happiest part is the one part which I always focus is if I work in a project, my intention or goal is focus is always that that should be manufactured and that should fetch profit for the organization. So I I have an information that Tata Motors have already sold vehicles worth around 1,500 crores
Wow. Okay.
for this Tata LSV and HSV,
That's
selling to
fantastic.
Indian Army
It's
and
an
also
outcome.
export.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy on that front.
Right. Of course. Yes. Mm.
And earlier case with the Hero Honda also, it was like the Splendor project in which I worked, and the Pleasure
Mm.
scooter which I worked also fetched a huge amount of profit.
Mm.
And some of the components which I have designed in Hero Honda, now it has been manufactured more than more than I think crore
Okay.
units. Like I designed some parts for that Splendor, like ORVM
Mm-hmm.
and grab handles and headlamp and the tail lamp.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
These are the components normally required to make a bike actually.
Right.
Leaving the tank and seat, I worked physically to deliver all these parts. And these parts, Hero Honda themselves have manufactured more than 30 to 40 lakhs.
Mm-hmm.
And the supplier which who manufactured this product, they get the ownership of the tool and then they start selling to the other OEMs. And
Okay.
now I could see that TVS Motors, Yamaha Motors, Hero Honda, Honda, and
Mm-hmm.
all the vehicles I can see by the part which I designed being placed widely. So that's why I used to see
Mm.
profitability is a very important aspect. That's an end goal which everyone in the organization has to eye on.
Right.
I don't recommend the designers to think that yes, I have done this design and I like it. I
Mm.
mean, that does not take you too far.
True.
So these are the one, and okay. So moving on from there, uh, I need to have some time to make people to ask some questions so that we can clarify. So I'll just quickly move on with some key projects which I have done.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, the total number of projects I till now worked out as a final delivered manufactured product is around 37.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
That's it. 37 projects which has been in the business in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
So that is in a span of around 18 to 19 years. So
Right.
that's almost like a two products per year I make it successfully manufactured.
Hmm.
So in the back, I think I have shared a screen in which
Yes.
I'll
See the screen.
uh, shows next product. What you see on the screen
Hmm.
is a wheel loader. This way
Right.
I have designed this vehicle for Tata Telcon. Tata in collaboration with Mitsubishi, they wanted to
Hmm.
make a 10-ton hydraulic torque converter based wheel loader.
Hmm.
So this was the first of the design and which I worked on. I'm very happy about this particular design is this was the first time Tata Lexi uh, was presenting a product at this quality. And
Hmm.
this was done around 16 years before.
Wow.
And this was the level of presentation of product rendering we can do because that time the people were not familiar with the rendering concepts and they make sketches and many
Right.
times sketches are more of a skill oriented with an individual
Hmm.
and the sketches don't reveal to the wider audience.
Hmm.
So I want to break the monotony. So I worked with the animation team which was there in Tata Lexi, and then I was sitting with a non-automotive guy, and I gave my surfaces from Alias Auto Studio, and we rendered it. And
Okay.
we were so surprised that I was presenting this like in a forum where around 70 engineers of Tata Motors company were there,
Hmm.
and I mean, it was so happy to see that all those 70 people, including that chairman of the Tata uh, Telcon,
Hmm.
he stood up and then started clapping.
Wow. Stand
So
ovation.
this is a very proud moment. But
Right.
rather than taking it as a proud moment, I want to, share it to our designers
Hmm.
that the reason why we got the project was the Tata LSV, which we made that military vehicle. uh, Mr. Ratan Tata's deputy,
Hmm.
Mr. Arya, who is head of the commercial vehicle segment, he recommended me to Tata Telcon. The
Hmm.
Tata Telcon was supposed to go to uh, this Pininfarina
Okay.
to do this wheel loader.
Hmm.
And they were exploring Pininfarina, they were exploring IDO, and they were exploring some other frog design like that. And the head of the organization has traveled all to these design firms, and finally when we approached they asked for a quotation and we quoted something which was 1/10 of the price.
Okay.
Okay, 1/10 of the price means I have quoted 1 crore 15
Hmm.
years before,
Hmm.
and Pininfarina would have quoted around 15 crores 15 years before
Hmm.
for making this rendering,
Hmm.
this concept. So they just gave me like before they go to Pininfarina, spending 15 crores, they just wanted to give some 1 crore and try with us.
Hmm.
And after the end of the project, during a presentation, the chairman stood up and then say, "Boy, I should have paid at least more than this one because I would have got almost the same output plus or minus with Pininfarina for 15 times the price what I paid for you."
Right.
So that was a great moment, but the rear end is that there's a huge work actually. I
Hmm.
mean, someone who can understand this, all these parts are sheet metal,
Hmm.
like the bumper is actually supposed to weigh around 100 kg and supposed to do the bumper in 1 inch thick metal plate.
Hmm.
And any designer or engineer would simply do a rectangular box.
Hmm.
So I have played by, rolling a sheet and extracting a form by single radius uh, sheet rolling.
Mm-hmm.
and laser cutting it and the plasma cutting it and then welding it and getting this finished. So finally, we manufactured the vehicle which exactly looks like this, and then it is available on the public now.
Mm-hmm.
And this vehicle also was sold in more than 1,000 units in the first 3 to 4 years time.
Mm-hmm.
And each unit, costs around less than half a crore, that means around 40 lakhs.
Okay.
There's lots of technology inside that one. So that's a huge volume for that organization. So
Mm-hmm.
there's one more like lots of hard work, goes through. But the image looks simple when we see, but and handling it. But I was actually total lead for the whole project. Like that, my decision was the final, and I created so the huge responsibility on making the design. Until now, Tata Lexi shows this as a portfolio. Till now, it's
Nice.
one of those effective portfolios for the company. And coming to the next product, this is those.
Those.
Those is one of the runaway success uh, in Ashok Leyland. Ashok
Mm.
Leyland never had this kind of a vehicle in their mind. And we were a team of me, Satya Seelan, and couple of other designers. And we ended up into doing this project. And the challenge I faced was I believe Satya Seelan is one of the senior designers we all know. And unfortunately, after the first day of the sketching session, he couldn't continue the project. And suddenly I was overloaded with the project responsibility. And Ashok Leyland was a fantastic company because the head of that organization was including the owner, no, Dheeraj Hinduja. He directly interacted with us to make this product.
Mm-hmm.
And it took after launch of this vehicle for 3 years, it fetched the best light commercial vehicle award in India.
Nice. Okay.
And there is an interview by Carlos Ghosn, who is ex-head of Renault Nissan, and he wanted to buy this vehicle from Ashok Leyland and sell again. But
Mm.
whereas he knows clearly that the base vehicle is the Nissan van, which
Okay.
was a very old vehicle of Nissan. So this is one project. There are lots of lectures or like talks in the web about the project and the team which has worked on, especially commented by Dr. V. Sumansan, saying that there is a niche of a design opportunity in India where we get an opportunity like this. Like for example, we don't get a royal opportunity of a luxurious studio and big money and getting into doing things lavishly. So we always get some scrap, some corner place in an office. This is how Mahindra studio was grown. This is how Ashok Leyland studio was grown. This is how like Force Motors and many places studios started like this because we always never get the you know red carpet welcome for us because design is always seen as some people doing some kind of a colors and graphics or something like that. But in the last 15 years, I know many of uh, my colleagues who are in the various industries. Recently, they launched the Mahindra Thar. So everywhere there is lots of hardships, and we are supposed to work with tremendous motivation. And our path is quite different as compared to other organizations, other departments in the same organization. So I mean, our design industry has come long way now. So now there are more and more opportunities just being coming up because the design in India is already proven. So this next slide, what I am showing is this one more project which I worked. In this project also, luckily I was the lead with full freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a heavy duty truck series for Ashok Leyland. And we established the styling DNA for Ashok Leyland from this project onwards. And those was also done parallelly along with this one. This particular truck actually changed the whole face of Ashok Leyland and took it to a level where it is comparable with like a giants like a Volvo and Scania globally. And even in terms of quality, the behind the skin, the engine parts are also so superior that it has gained a global status. I had a 7 or 8 team member team, and my responsibility was from styling to A-class surface release. And that means you coordinate, do a market research, do a user research. We did clay model, and we did a clay model research with market, and we built ergo bugs, and we developed mop-up models. We made an iterations of models, surface models in Alias Auto Studio software, and the output was phenomenal. And it was a fantastic experience. See, the secret behind a sculptor's success is his knowledge about the material in which he is sculpting and the tools he has in and the idea what is there in mind and his creativity. Same way as a sculptor's success who works on a rock or a stone, he needs to understand the stone's behavior and the tools what he uses to carve the stone. Like that, industrial designers, they are supposed to know the new nuances of uh, the product which you are going to design, and you should have a very thorough knowledge of the subsequent steps which goes for the uh, making the product, and then we should come back and then work on our design area. And the slide which you see on the screen is a tractor which I have developed uh, for client in the global client,
Mm-hmm.
Greece. And this is one more project like what I have done. Uh, these are like some custom vehicle which I started building as a hobby on my free time to just pursue my knowledge. So how we manufacture, this is the
Right.
base vehicle. You see Tata Xenon, and on the right side you see the Photoshop sketch rendering of how the vehicle has to look like. And this is the side view of the original vehicle and the custom design what we are going to make. And this is all the process of template development and how we take over the parts and finally how we make the end product. So I'm just like rushing through some images. This is some product sketches which I have done for Nissan Datsun Ready Go product. These are some vehicles which I built on my own. What you see in the screen is like a a vehicle which I built for my own purpose. It's like a sports utility vehicle. It's weird, and I presented to a big audience in Chennai in Auto Expo. I burnt lots of money. The, 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 the point I want to share here is um, this I did as a hobby, and for that hobby purpose, I have spent around 7 to 8 lakhs of rupees from my pocket. And the advantage for me is one, I have the vehicle. Second is that I have experimented my knowledge, what I acquired. This was done in 2014. So whatever I acquired in industry for 12 to 14 years, I used some money to independently do a project and then see where I stand. So this is just the kind of experiment I done. See what happens in my life. I mean, everyone's life is after we graduate and get into a job, we always try to use the money for something else. We never pump in the money back to learn further. So this is an attempt where I could spend around 7 to 8 lakh rupees just to try out and then see where I stand. So which gave me a huge confidence now to build any vehicle. So these were the process. You can see me interacting and building the vehicles from a chassis to building the front panels and building the body. And I sit in the shop floor in the front and to make that things happen. And how I use a simple wall in my studio to make a tape drawing to understand the proportions. I think if someone is watching this live, these are the examples where people can get motivated. That means that you don't have to have anything great. A simple wall, a compound wall can also be used to build a tape drawing to understand your design. No cost. Just buy an electric insulation tape for 10 to 15 rupees and then go to a white wall somewhere or in your own living room area, you can make a tape drawing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't need any costly stuff.
Right.
You don't need anything costly to do. People spend lakhs and lakhs of rupees for doing a design course. I suggest do something like this also. This will give you huge confidence. Okay, so anyway, this also needs some training. So coming back, finally, the biggest project I worked in my life was Datsun Redigo and Renault Quid. So in this program, there was a whole program started with Datsun Redigo. Uh, this was started in 2010. After I completed all my projects in Ashok Leyland, I was moved to Nissan, uh, Japan. My role in Nissan was that Nissan, for the first time, they wanted to do a vehicle with a full understanding of Indian customers in mind and in Indian culture. So I was making lots of presentation to the Japanese designers to make them understand and sensitize to what Indians are and try to differentiate between what Indians are and what Japanese are. So the whole culture, attitude, behavior, economics, lifestyle of a Japanese is different from India. So I was trying to make a point first because I was not supposed to do the design for the vehicle. So I had to make them aware that if you don't understand India, you cannot design a vehicle for India which will be very apt or runaway success. So I had to explain, and that's the first time I realized that the head of Nissan Design, Global Design, is Mr. Nakamura-san. Nakamura-san is very famous, like a Chris Bangle or leading automotive designers in the world. Actually, he's a world-ranked guy, and I had an opportunity to interact with him. And he, first of all, he couldn't believe that an Indian from an Asian country can come and then comment on design. And that was an eye opener for him to understand that we Indians also know something known as design, and we are also learning design in academic institutions, and we are coming out and we are experimenting and we are doing something. So they feel that only a developed nations do design. So in that process, I was explaining him, and he got convinced, and he got me introduced to the whole audience of designers in Nissan. There were more than 120 to 30 industrial designers in Nissan, and I happened to interact with them and then tell them about what India is. Say, for example, I took a sari from India, and when do a vehicle design, they said like their approach of how a woman outfit is like a knee length skirt or shorts or full pant or whatever it is. But I had to tell them that when my mother has to sit on a car, she might be wearing a sari, and the precious part of the sari, the jari, the golden artwork on a silk sari is at the bottommost of this sari. So her ingress and egress has to be so comfortable. So that changed the whole the way they started looking Indians. And any car, mostly the driver and the navigator seat will be the comfort zone, and the rear seat is more of like an add-on in the global community, because the rear seat is normally not occupied, except it is like a Bentley or Rolls Royce or chopper driven vehicle. But in Indian scenario, if a youth buys a car for the first time, and his most important person who travel is his wife or kid or his mother or the elderly person in the home. So we started giving more importance or equal importance for the rear seat and the front seat. From this level of detail, we started to sketch the whole vehicle, and the complete development we worked on. And once we developed the basic design, Renault also came to share the design. So we worked together with the Renault and Nissan, and then the product was launched, and Renault Quid and Datsun Ready. And these were the only vehicle which was designed by an MNC sitting in India fully and employing Indian designers, Indian engineers to develop the full vehicle. So none of the vehicle earlier till now was done in this fashion, except a few vehicles which Mahindra did, and there again the styling was done by an international designer. So this was the first ever vehicle designed from the scratch. Uh, how what should be the length, width, height, the layout, the styling sketches, everything was done from the scratch. So this was my last project before I quit and I became an entrepreneur.
Yeah, that's pretty
So
cool, Gokul. So this vehicle, has it come into the market? The Datsun,
madam,
the Datsun vehicle,
yeah,
has it come into the market now? The one that you have designed?
yeah, Datsun Redigo and Renault Quid was launched in 2015 or
Right. Yeah,
16.
yeah. But what I mean to say is uh, I mean, what I'm trying to ask is the inputs that you have given, the styling that you have done. These were translated into the final vehicle.
Yes, yes. Because actually, I was the final approving authority for the design.
Oh, cool, cool. Right,
This
right.
was one of the
So,
important factors.
yeah, would you like to show the vehicle, please, on your screen?
Pardon?
Would you like to show the vehicle on the screen? Can you share the screen and show the vehicle?
No, I, I mean, I didn't
Or
save
you can,
those
can
images.
share it from the Google.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, that obviously we can do. I'll show you the images. So the vehicle, what we see here,
Right.
this is the first version,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the facelift of the same.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the vehicle which I was leading it,
Mm-hmm.
and there were two vehicles of the same platform. This is the Datsun Redigo portion, and the other one is the uh, this is the Renault Kwid.
Right.
Both share the same platform, same engine, same body,
Okay.
same control systems and everything. Only the skin is different.
Only the styling is different.
Only the styling details are
Branding.
different.
Mm-hmm.
So this was, I would say that this was, I mean, this is more than enough for my lifetime of doing a design, because the
Okay.
position I had was the final, I was the final authority for the design. That means
Wow.
I have to tell that each and every parts of the styling aspect. That was my responsibility to bring out the design the way it has to be. And
Mm.
I was assisted by the Nissan styling team, and there is Nissan CAD team, surface design team, and I have Nissan and Indian ergonomics team and the product packaging team. So I was reporting to the chief vehicle engineer. His
Okay.
name was Nobuyuki Kawai, and he is now the vice president for the Datsun. So he is my direct boss. So
Mm.
my role was the styling design manager. That means I'm head of the styling for the project.
How long
So
was this project, Gokul?
what is
What was the duration of this project?
duration? No?
Yeah.
The the day it started was around 2010,
Okay.
and the day it was launched was I think 2015.
Okay. So.
With this went into a huge iteration after
Mm.
one stage.
Mm.
So, but it was worth.
Right.
And this is the platform in which now Nissan has got only three platforms. This is one of the platform which was designed and developed fully in India. And based on this one platform, Renault and Nissan together have more than 14 vehicles now.
All right. Cool.
So that was
So the Quid and the Datsun Ready Go, okay, were they designed in the same studio or were they done at two different places, two different design teams or something like that?
no, the grill and the front fascia is designed in two different locations.
Okay.
The Renault, which is the French part, was done in France,
Mhm.
and the Datsun Redigo, the Nissan part, was done in India and Japan.
Okay. Okay.
Because in India we didn't have an infrastructure to do that one, so we went and worked from Nissan.
Okay.
So I was there posted, sitting in Nissan NTC office in Japan. So I was doing the design.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Nice. Nice. So definitely a very rewarding experience. And
Yeah, mm, some of those main skills what we need to have is patience.
Mm.
And when you want to work with the Japanese in one side and French people on one side, you have a huge language problem
Mm.
because you get a three languages: one Indian language, one Japanese language, one French language. Then we have three time zones:
Right.
Japanese time zone, Indian time zone, French time zone. So every presentation you have to present and communicate to an audience which is high profile audience most of the time,
Mm.
and designing and sitting with the vendor feasibility. Like I said, whatever I did from first LSV project
Mm.
till this project, it was uh, huge. Uh, it's more engrossing, a bigger team, more responsibility, more travel,
Mm.
more presentations, more and more data to review. For example, I used to have around 2000 parameters of a vehicle design,
Right.
only with respect to styling up to vehicle layout and ergonomics. I
Mm.
have more than 2000 parameters to check in each and every vehicle, and I got that this database with me, which was gifted by my boss for
Okay.
my own use, and I have more than 700 vehicles data
Wow. Okay.
with these 2000 parameters to clarify.
Mm.
See, if I make a sketch of the daylight opening of a door, like the
Mm.
door, how many parameters? Like there are simple parameters. Like when you open a door, there is something known as face attack. Face
Right.
attack means when you open a door, the topmost tip of the door might sometimes come and then hit on your chin.
Mm.
So there is certain way in which that parameter or the dimensions has to be so that the way you stand and open a door and the window should not come and hit you. And this is something which impacts the styling.
Right.
And the way you position a wheel arch and the gap between the wheel and the wheel arch. And there is a CMVR regulations there. Like when you have to when we talk about vehicle stands, we have to work with the suspension team to say that I want to have this stance.
Mm.
So you have to know what is suspension details and what is SLR, what is that, how the vehicle has to stand on the road, what is an emotion which the vehicle communicates when it stands and then it kick starts and runs or whatever it is. So these all the parameters. The lots of science are there to understand.
Right.
That's why Japanese designers, when I evaluate them, the Japanese styling designers engineering knowledge is
Mm.
more than our engineers knowledge.
Okay.
So our engineers knowledge actually is only mature to the level of the engineering knowledge of the stylist.
Mm. Mm.
Just imagine what will be the knowledge of the engineers,
Right.
Nissan engineers, when they compare to our engineers. So I learned, like, you need to have a deep passion and eye for detail and thirst for knowledge when you work on that field. So that each and every, like for example, when we do a CFD analysis, we try to do the aerodynamics study, and we used to take a drag value of like say point 4 or point 0.5,
Mm.
and then from point 0.5 we have a target of 0.47. Then we used to have a critical feedback from the CFD analysis team on the vehicle profile,
Mm.
and that will majorly affect our styling.
Right.
Then we are supposed to tweak the styling a little bit, and that goes into a little bit of mediocre styling. So
Mm.
every aspect of engineering, the designer is a reflection of every aspect of engineering, and an evolved design is an input from all the functionaries of automobile um, department, that you reflect the whole technology with your sketch. So this is the way we have to work in an automotive area.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
these
So
are some of the highlighting projects I was sharing.
right. So could you tell something about your company that you're currently your venture currently that you are working on?
Yeah. Yes, I'll share that. Actually, my current company known as MGH Labs. The reason why I wanted to make a company is this is one of my passion in life that I just want to see what it is to make a product fully on your own. See, I'll tell you the background was when I work in an industry, there is always 10 hands trying to hold me. Ye karo, do this, don't do this. If you do this, this will be the impact or whatever it is. So the intention is diluted when you work in an organization where the Indian industry is still not well aware of the design. So there is lots of misconception or false ideas about design. They say that designers okay do some fillets, some nice rounded shapes, nice colors,
Mm,
nice graphics. This is what the engineers they tell about design, but it's not so. Uh, when you work with a global team, it is very easy for you to. You don't have to convince them about the basic stuff, but you have to convince them about the design, excellence. Here you have to convince them about your practice, your profession, and your requirements to other people, and they don't approve.
mm,
So I wanted to have a company where I am the boss, and I have the money, and I have an idea, and I work, and I take the whole responsibility for my product. So all these things got fulfilled when I started a company, and luckily there was some scheme known as Startup India, and I registered there, and being an alumni of IIT Madras helped me to incubate the company in IIT Madras. And the current company, I wanted to make a product. This product was a small innovation which one of my earlier networks they suggested, and came up with an idea. So here it was a small product. Like I want to take a small product and take it to a mass.
mhm.
The product here was I wanted to solve a problem. So when you want to incubate a company, there is something known as they look for an idea which is scalable.
Okay.
So there are a couple of problems I wanted to solve, and this was one problem which was suggested by a government organization.
Mhm,
This was about malaria, dengue, chikungunya, this kind of a communicable diseases
mhm,
which spreads across and is mainly spread by the mosquitoes.
mhm,
And to control the mosquitoes, there have been solutions and crores have been spent by even by Bill Gates to make a machine which can, like there was a machine which Bill Gates sponsored, which cost him around 10 15 lakh rupees,
mhm,
which actually aim and shoot a mosquito using a laser.
mm.
But that kind of a solution does not help for a mass because you cannot kill lakhs of mosquitoes like that. So I took a simple process where why a mosquito bites you is mosquito knows that you are its food. Like we know a breakfast meals or South Indian meals or North Indian food. We know how to identify our food and then eat like that. So mosquitoes identify human beings as food.
Mm,
So what I did was I studied the human being. What are the parameters which attract mosquitoes? And there are various parameters like body heat, carbon dioxide we exhale, and the body smell. So I try to incorporate these factors into my product, and I had made lots of experiments and iterations and everything, and lots of CFD, computational fluid dynamics study, because mosquito is in the air and it flies in the air. So when you want to suck the mosquito, you have to suck stealthily, because even if you wave your hand, the air pressure from your hand will give an alert to the mosquito, and the mosquito will fly away. So we have to stealthily attract them and make them to come near your trapping zone. So I had made a chemical which simulates the human body smell, and I have made an analysis for airflow, and all this has led to me nearly 12 patents.
Oh,
12 patents, which is international patents in terms of chemical composition, in terms of product dynamics, in terms of CFD study. Like that, I have around 12 patents into the product. And after this, I could manufacture it, and now I'm selling it in Amazon.
oh, wow.
And
Okay, what is the product called? Please show us the product.
it is Blue Spider.
Okay.
I'll just straight away open it in Amazon and right away
Yeah.
show you. The
Are there any offers going on?
offer is going on.
Okay, so great opportunity to buy it. Like, is it for a room of 10 by 10, or how big is the product? Or
This is a product for 10 by 10. What you see in my screen, which I shared,
yeah, yeah.
this is a 10 by 10 product. I mean, in
Okay,
a room you can use it.
okay.
So the shape is like a skirt, no? At the bottom you can
Uh,
see. That is the aerodynamics part.
okay,
The air gets sucked at the top and
okay,
then goes down and
okay,
I have applied for international design awards. I already got a design patent and product patent and chemical patent and everything for this product.
nice.
Now I'm applying for design awards, and I already got shortlisted for a couple of design awards.
Hmm.
So this is like a huge work. Like for example, I mean, you have to design the product, you have to tool it up, manufacture it, reduce the cost, bringing it to the market, train the people to assemble it, manufacture it. So it's like a full-fledged work from conceptualization to generating funds. I already got around 7 crores of money, which I already spent. I got an investment of
7
7 crores,
crore of investment, is it, Gokul?
7 crore rupees.
Of investment.
And I have already spent through the investment. Yeah, I got around $1 million
Okay,
investment from an investor, and I got investment from IIT, and I got
okay,
investment from Department of Science and Technology. And all put together, I had
okay.
bank loans, and I spent all of them, and now the product is ready and it's being sold in India now. We
Hmm.
got a global certification now. Now we are trying to position the product globally in
Hmm.
other countries like Brazil and Malaysia, Sri Lanka, and Africa.
Okay. Interesting. So how does this work? I mean, it has to be plugged in, is it?
Yeah, I mean this. You have a plug here, whatever I shown in my screen, and this plug has to be connected onto the product and to the power supply, and just switch it on. And
Okay.
then in the top head, you can open this lid, and then you can put something on as a pheromone packet, which I give.
Mm-hmm.
That has to be kept inside the top head, which I have shown in the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then when that evaporates, or it evaporates on its own, and it simulates the human body odor.
Okay.
The body odor, not which we smell, the body odor which attracts the mosquitoes.
Right.
For us, I have put a fragrance so that we feel good about it. The mosquitoes get attracted by that smell.
Okay.
Every human body releases more than 500 to 600 chemicals,
Mm-hmm.
and out of which various animals get attracted by various chemicals.
Okay.
When you take about mosquito, it gets attracted by more than 20 to 25 chemicals.
Mm-hmm.
Out of which I have picked up somewhere around 8 to 9 chemicals which are very attractive for the mosquitoes.
Mm-hmm.
And these chemicals are absolutely non-toxic for the human because it is the same as what we release from our body.
Okay.
And the dosage is uh, very same as what we release from the body.
Okay.
So absolutely, there is no difference between what we secrete from our body and this chemical. So it's absolutely safe. You can even drink it. Nothing will happen.
Mm-hmm.
So what customer like about my product is that every mosquito pesticides are harmful.
Right.
This is one solution which is very friendly. Even if you have asthma, allergies, this does not affect you.
Mm.
and it is certified by government of India agencies for dermatology uh, and eye irritation, toxicology. Every aspect has been tested in more than 500 guinea pigs. More than 500 guinea pigs and rats have been used to test this product for toxicity.
Mm.
It has been certified non-toxic. So there is lots of work gone into this product. This is where coming back to our context of discussion, the
Mm.
designer has got a much more open mind to see various aspects of the life. For
Mm.
example, when you want to take an investment, you have a different approach as a designer because the way your mind works. When you want to make a production line, you can do an innovation because your mind is like that. You can have think different. So, designer when they put their mind in various areas, they are able to revolutionize things. So, this is
Right.
something which is very good. Being educated in this field of design. So we
Right.
have to, check ourselves. We have to compete and then see ourselves in various areas to understand the uniqueness
Mm.
of design thinking.
Mm. Mm. All right. Great. Awesome.
I think,
Okay. Yeah, yeah. We can probably take a few questions from the
yeah,
audience.
mm,
So this was totally unexpected. So I mean, you're talking about all the transportation design, the vehicles, and etc., etc. And the recent work is completely different,
correct.
right? So a different product altogether. So when you had stepped out of IIT,
Yeah.
right? So did you set out to become a transportation designer, or was it that you are getting that kind of an opportunity, so you have gone into that stream, or what was the decision making at that point of time, like 19 years ago?
Um, See, I was, we were getting an opportunity. See, I was the first recruit in the campus.
Mm-hmm.
The day one campus, I got recruited in Hero Honda. So I got an opportunity to work in automobile area,
Hmm.
and I didn't have any specific attachment towards anything.
Right.
I was very open, and I was always curious to make something which people can appreciate, and it will be productive. That was my only goal. So after I got into Hero Honda, it was like one more. I got into automobile continuously.
Hmm.
And even now, I am working on my own electrical vehicle now on the background. So,
Is
like
it?
I showed a full-fledged SUV,
Yes.
now I am building a micro car on my own. So every day I spend around 2 to 2 hours at least doing a design, creating a 3D model out of it, and every 15 to 20 days I used to do some concepts even now.
Hmm.
I'm around like 46 years now. I mean, now I stopped working on CAD or whatever it is. I keep on doing that one. So it's like do something which is fascinating. That's my intention.
Right. Um, so there is a question from Ekansh Garg.
Hmm.
I believe he's a student right now. So he's asking which software is used in the industry, and do we work in the traditional way, like sketching on pen and papers, or we use tablets?
Okay. Uh, the software is commonly used or what it is very useful is, for example, when you want to do automotive styling or even small product design, um, Autodesk's products like Elias, uh, surface design, product design, or auto studio. It is very good for the surface. It's one of the best thing that I have used for many years.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've been using it for more than 14 years now. So I would see that it's like my right hand. I do that. So the software is fantastic. And another software when you do a slightly lighter products is that you can use SolidWorks and Rhino, which is very helpful in doing design. So these are for the CAD applications. And coming before that CAD, when you want to do a conceptualization, a tablet and a paper does not make much difference actually. Uh, it does not make any difference. Absolutely. You do it in paper, you do it in tablet. If you can afford a tablet, you do it in tablet. But always remember, tablet is needs a proper table and chair setup to sit, and you are in front of a monitor and you do a disciplined work. So that is a workstation. But sketching on sketchbook is like you can be at your ease, or you can even sit in front of, if you are designing a car, you can go into because this is what we do in NTC, Nissan Technical Center. We go and sit in front of the model reference cars in front of us, and then we see the proportions in each everything, and then we create our concept. So it depends. I mean, don't negate both. Practice on tablet also, and practice on paper also does not make any difference.
Right, but I think the bottom line is the sketching is important, whether irrespective of the tool that you use, whether pen on paper or a tablet. But sketching is primarily important.
Yeah,
That's number one. Secondly, it is also important to learn a software, a 3D software, like as you said, the rhinoceros or the
alias.
alias. All right. So because these are two different tools that are definitely being used in the industry, and as a student, once you graduate and go to the industry, if you're proficient with these, then you can be put onto the job right from day one. Otherwise, you may have to spend like maybe 3 months, 6 months in trying to learn those softwares, Yeah. So at the time you are in the school, in the design school, if you can focus and learn these stuff, it will definitely help.
If I will teach design to people,
Right.
I will try to make them work on CAD for sure,
Mhm.
and make them sketch a lot, because these are the only two things you are supposed to do in your life. You
Absolutely.
sketch, you do CAD, because CAD is the latest development in the industry and it is constantly developing.
Hmm.
So earlier we used to do tape drawing, we used to do so many things. I don't say we should not do that one, but your final output goes from the CAD. And if you are not able to do a CAD, and if you are dependent on someone else, and that guy will start interrupting your sketch in a different way,
Hmm.
and you will not get the exact output. And nowadays, CAD has advanced so much that it's very friendly to use it, and you don't have to worry that my creativity will get lost. That's why we do in steps. Do the sketch first and translate the sketch into surface model. So your design gets improved 100 percentage when you work on a CAD.
Right. Right. Great. So Akash Garg is also asking, okay, so in an industry, for example, you are assigned with a brief, but as a design student, how can they find a brief or a problem statement? Any suggestions from you as a experienced designer to the design students?
Can you repeat that the crux of the question? How to get the design brief?
Yeah, I mean, in an industry, okay, design brief is given to the designers, right? But as a design student in a design school,
Mm-hmm.
they would not get any design brief. So how do they formulate one, or how do they get the design brief?
So in a design school, uh, uh, you might have to do several projects actually. So what an approach can be. For example, if you are feeling that I want to develop my skills into form generation, that means that actually the shape of the product, whatever it is you want to develop. So you can pause all the other activities on the product, like constraints, engineering, or whatever it is, and focus on that area. And sometimes you want to innovate a product, like the product which I have done, like mosquito trap solution, where it's like a kind of a getting into some kind of a function which is going larger than the stylist, defining a whole product and the need and the solution. So there you focus on the problem solving rather than your form skills. So you can do couple of projects, one focusing on generating a form, one focusing on creating a solution, one focusing on product detailing, like that. So this is one aspect what I am doing. Coming to defining a brief, the brief is always like it's there, no? Like even if you take a simple iPhone, iPhone red gives a different emotion. iPhone steel grade gives a different emotion, and both the iPhones together gives one emotion. So it's like a emotion in the product is one aspect. So I mean, more than defining the brief, the challenge starts after writing the brief. So the brief can be anything. I mean, you just can take a competitor product and understand the brief of the product, and then you can interrupt your own solution for that brief. Then you start creating a competitive product. Like if you take a Mahindra Thar, and there will be a Suzuki Jimny, more or less the same segment product, but the interpretation is different. It may be a same price product, it can be same target audience, same performance, everything, but two different products. Like you even see the Datsun Redigo, whatever I showed, and the Renault Quid, same platform, but the design interpretation is different. Hence, the brief will be different. I don't know if I answered the question, but in design, always the question does not close. You
Yes,
open more opportunities.
it provides more opportunities. Yes,
Yeah.
that is correct. Yeah. Okay. And Gokul, you must be knowing Satyajit Kulkarni, right?
Satyajit,
Kulkarni.
yeah, I mean, I think if you can refresh me,
All right. So he had briefly worked with Ashok Leyland.
okay.
He's a areas designer,
Hmm.
right? So maybe he has worked on those projects as well because uh, one of the audiences, Jeffin Joseph, is asking, "Sir, did you work with Satyajit Kulkarni on those projects?" Uh, maybe you are, I mean, he had worked on a couple of projects of Ashok Leyland. Okay, so maybe that, not sure if you were in the same time or not.
No, I think the name is, I think he came later.
Okay, okay, okay. All no, no worries, no worries. Okay. So Ekansh Garg is asking, sir, as you are an industrial designer,
Uh-huh.
you work in designing industry.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask, what is the selection criteria for the candidate who is applying for a job as a designer? So, what parameters would you check if you had to recruit a designer?
I would first see if he has got some skills to communicate his design to his next department.
Right.
Let's say, for example, he does a watch design, or like for example, if I take my own product like Tata LSV,
Hmm.
I was able to give the design in a 3D data format to the next engineer who makes a prototype.
Hmm.
uh, so I would see his skills, like for example, how well he can communicate his idea in a 2D sketch format, how well he can communicate his idea using a 3D CAD software, and these are the two skills. And I would see his, how much he is updated in design trend. Like for example, how what is he aware of the current color? There's a color predictions, right? What is the color of this
Hmm.
year? So what is that trend in some fashion? What is the trend in electronic gadgets? What is the trend in apparels? What is the trend in shoes? So design cues. People, the designer, I expect him to be aware of what is happening around in which he is supposed to live or work. That is how aware he is about the design trends around him, and what is his skills he has got, and what is his thinking process. This is the main aspect I would see in, before I select any designers on board.
Right. So would you also give importance to the degree? Like, or does he have a professional degree in design? Or would you, if you are happy with the skills the candidate has, is it all right?
No, I give importance to the degree because the degree is such a big thing in design,
Mm-hmm.
and it just can't be negated by, okay, I have made some few 3D models and sketches, so I'm a designer. No, that does not run long way actually. I mean, this design course is just not providing you skills, it actually
Hmm.
transforms you. It it makes you to think different. So it's more about thinking. And so this design course is, if I would definitely recruit only person who has gone through some formal design education to do design. Otherwise, it becomes too difficult for me to get a desired output from the candidate.
Right, right. Yeah. So design is beyond just making some pretty 3D models or some pretty good sketches. It's beyond that. So yes, so you give importance to the degree and the professional learning that he has undergone in a school.
Correct.
Now, having said that, would you give importance to the school a candidate has come from, or like for example, IIT Delhi versus or IITs versus private design school?
Hmm.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I actually feel the difference between candidates who are coming from IIT and NID
Mm-hmm.
as against the other institutions till now I have faced.
Mm-hmm.
Because this IIT and NID, they are able to make you uh, sow the seeds inside you, the design seeds. Actually, I mean, it's like a big process. You have to be at least there for somewhere around 500 days inside an institution
Mm-hmm.
to get yourself transformed.
Mm-hmm.
And the other institutions, I have not seen that level of maturity.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some global institutions which are worthwhile to mention,
Mm-hmm.
like Pasadena Art Center,
Right.
RCA, uh, and there are some Detroit design, some Italian design studios or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Who and also the duration, 6 months course, no worth. 1 year course, no worth. The
Mm-hmm.
course has to be minimum 2 to 2.5 years time.
Right.
or like 4 years course in a bachelor's. It's a very many minimum to get into design thinking.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, it has to be a thorough, like as you said, 500 days. A student has to be in a design school to undergo the transformation. It's
Correct.
not just a semester long design credit course that you do and you become a designer. It's not going to happen.
Mhm. You
Right.
have to be in the environment.
Yes.
You have to. It's like a transformation. Yeah, actually, you believed so many values
Hmm.
learned in your degree or whatever it is, schooling.
Hmm.
So in the design education, the transformation happens.
Hmm.
See, first of all, I would say that uh, a seasoned designer and non-seasoned designer is
Hmm.
it's like a politician. No, you can abuse a politician, but he will not lose his school of mind.
Right.
He will know that yeah, there is a criticism. I need to look into that, and then I need to understand how the people's mind behave and
Hmm.
what is be my strategy as a politician.
Hmm.
Same way, a designer should not get funk when someone criticizes like your design is very bad.
Right.
Here, when you present the design, you should be very open that how the people are going to behave, react to that one, and you
Right.
have to take it positively, and then that the next project you have to implement it, and then go towards the hitting the market with the exact design.
Hmm.
And to do this one, you need a framework of mind. This framework of mind is being given by the institutions by training you not only in sketching and stuff. They train you psychologically by various reviews they do and ask you to do projects, and
Hmm.
there are kind of interactions you do with the filmmaker. You make interactions with an architect, you make interactions with a musician, you make an interactions with the social service guy. So you get to know the society. So it's not like a skills course actually, it's like a thinking course.
Hmm.
So mere skills does not succeed. It does not succeed.
Right. Right. Okay. Okay.
I can give
So,
an example. Like for example, a guy from a tooling background
mhm.
will be doing some products like a water bottle, a soap box, or something like that.
Hmm.
And in course of doing 2, 3 products, he will start behaving like, yeah, I know design, I can do design.
Right.
And I had such a people in my team when I was doing LSV Tata vehicle.
Hmm.
And when they were presenting the concepts, Tata Motors clearly rejected it. They said, there's no background specified by that about that the designers.
Hmm.
The idea itself does not stand there. And I have seen in my the mentioned around 35 products I have done.
Hmm.
Every product I see that unless otherwise you have that thinking,
Hmm.
you cannot create a solution. So formal training in a good institution uh, with some minimum period is a necessity to become a designer.
Right. Right. Okay. Cool. Cool. And could you throw some light on the transformation that you have undergone from industrial designer to an entrepreneur? Like, as an entrepreneur, you have to take multiple roles, right? Um, so how did you evolve yourself into an entrepreneur from an industrial designer?
See, industrial designer is one aspect of me. For example, that's my core actually.
Right.
And a business is being primarily done by various kind of people, and the kind of people who make the design, they drive the design. For example, if you see uh, Apple,
Hmm.
The Apple organization is headed by a technical person. That means
Okay.
he's, he's crazy about creating a design. Okay, so this is different, defined by design, and then defined by technology.
Mm-hmm.
There are organizations which are financial organizations which is defined by the finance person. So here I am just trying to manage an organization or a company, and my attitude, my cap is an industrial designer. So uh, I can easily understand what that guy is thinking, because 100% of the time when I design a product, I keep thinking whether this girl will like this design, or this woman will use my product, or this boy will be comfortable using my product, or this elderly person will be. So we always put ourselves into shoes of the user.
Mm-hmm.
And the advantage I have as an industrial designer, being an entrepreneur, is I can very easily get into the shoes of everyone in front of me and trying to understand them very well. And when I make a proposal, it is very easy to convince them.
Okay.
So my every activity, whatever I do, is understand them, get into their mind, trying to understand what he looks from me or from this
Mm.
uh, company. So it's only that the ability to understand helps me to run the organization,
Okay.
and that's the thing I have used to transform myself. Like my ability to understanding has helped me in management.
Mm. Okay. So you're looking from the point of view of what the others want from
Correct.
you.
Mm,
And because you, as an industrial designer, are trained to do that job,
correct.
you are able to identify the need and you're able to express it to them. And that is
Yeah.
how you could raise the 7 crore rupees investment as well. Is it?
Yes, exactly.
Right. Cool. Okay.
I'll tell you one more small point, which
Right.
maybe there is an entrepreneur. See, in the startup industry, entrepreneurs try to say, I am going to make a product, and then they'll show idea in a PowerPoint.
Hmm.
But I make a design and make a photorealistic rendering and animation of the product, and I show to them.
Hmm.
By showing that itself, I actually cross 1.5 years of a startup's work,
Hmm.
and I present to the customer
Hmm.
or like investor. So I stand 1 in 100 when there are 100 pitching happening probably in Bangalore. They
Hmm.
do a speed dating with
Right.
a designer, entrepreneurs,
Hmm.
the investor. When I go in 1 in 100, I stand out as a one guy in 100 easily, because
Hmm.
I have matured my idea into a product which can be seen
Hmm.
at least in 3D, 2D.
Right.
And for my product, I actually gone ahead and made a prototype which
Hmm.
looks like a final product. Then
Okay.
I went for incubation. So out of some 400 applications, what we got for incubation, when I applied,
Hmm.
I was easily the first guy to say, this is very obvious. This product is going to look like this, and this is going to do this job, and fantastic. So I was able to get a 1 million investment in first shot, which is around 6.5 crores, as against the typical investment of 1.5 to 2 crores.
All right.
So that's an advantage.
Hmm. Interesting. Now, what about the financial acumen that an entrepreneur should have? Right. So, um, I mean, one thing is if you are able to raise 6.5 crores, $1 million, um, at what price? At what stake of your company? So, how would you arrive at that kind of technical details? That, I mean, without losing your stake in the company, because the venture capitalists, they are there to make money, right? So, um, I mean, how did you manage that in your startup?
Actually, when it goes into that managing your stake and the bargain,
Mm-hmm.
actually we have to understand that we are actually kids in front of those investors. We just can't do anything with them other than that being very straight to tell them that I need this much to at this point of time.
Mm-hmm.
See, like you are so good in getting into the shoes of the opponent to understand about product,
Mm.
they are so good in understanding what is your limitations. So they
That's
know where to crush you, where to tighten you, or what
right.
is your boundary in terms of what is your appetite,
Right.
or what is your hunger in terms of money.
Mm.
See, a normal professional guy can have an appetite to earn some amount of money.
Mm.
But the investor has already crossed those appetites in he's already 10 to 20 times or 100 times more than us.
Mm.
He invests in 100 companies. In each company is 5 crores means he invests 500 crores.
Mm.
And by investing 500 crores, he gets a return from 10 percentage of his investment.
Mm. Mm.
Out of 100 companies, he will get in a return from 10 companies. And the 10 companies, uh, he will get another 500 crores. If he puts 500 crores on 100 companies, out of these 10 companies, he will get 1000 crores back.
Right.
So they are so much superior than us in terms of those thinking.
Mm.
So it is better to not to master that skill,
Okay.
but rather than be very straightforward, like a housewife, if you don't give me this money, I will
Huh.
not talk to you.
Okay.
This is a very simple strategy to follow.
Okay.
Or you will say that no, no, I'm not comfortable, so they will give you whatever you want.
Mm.
But it is not possible to win them,
Mm.
and it is very tough. And but you can understand them very thoroughly. You can understand. They will tell you everything, and it will take 4 to 5 years to actually understand their plot.
Mm.
And we will get only what we deserve. That's what I mean. Maybe this first 10 years of the entrepreneurship in India,
Mm.
which is starting up now. I mean, it has been under progress for the last 5 years. The entrepreneurs are getting some returns,
Mm.
and next decade we expect that it will be more competitive,
Mm.
that entrepreneurs will be more aware because guys like us will put our experience, and then the further entrepreneurs we can help them to achieve better in
Right. Right. Cool. So Ekansh Garg is asking, okay, so how was your transformation from mechanical engineer to industrial designer? Now, how did you make a call saying that, okay, I need to do industrial design?
Okay, this is going back to some time.
Yeah, going back
See,
in time.
so when I was doing mechanical engineering, I was actually an artist. I do portraits. I do
Okay.
memory portraits. I used to
Okay.
see a person and I go back and sketch about them at home, and then go and then give the sketch back to the person.
Hmm.
So I have also sketched people for forensic departments.
Oh, is it? That's quite interesting. Could you show some of your sketches if they are posted somewhere?
No, it's there in
People would like
House
to see.
Cast police station. Yeah.
Sorry?
It is there in House Cast police station.
Oscars police station in Delhi. Okay.
During one of the culturals, one guy hit our senior, Sardind Ghosh,
Okay.
and I was also there, hit by him.
Okay.
Then Professor Das asked me, "Hey, you know memory sketching. Why don't you sketch that culprit?" I
Okay.
sketched the culprit, and then it was published in IIT, all the places, and
Really?
they everyone confirmed that they have seen that guy.
Okay.
And then that was kept in FIR in the police station. Finally, that guy was caught.
Wow. Okay.
And the police station
That's
also came and asked me that are you ready for further services like this?
okay.
But I told I'm focusing on something else because this is a spillover. So I was like more keen. I was seeing that the foreign countries are always looks very good,
Hmm.
and our Indian country does not look good everywhere. And our
Hmm.
Indian country traditionally was very good.
Hmm.
Our traditional, if you say traditional furniture, They are world class. All those furnitures what Britishers have are all like our Indian furniture designs they have.
Mm.
The facades, the sculptures, the arts, the details on the table, the lion leg, everything is like an Indian craftsman, especially the South Indian craftsmen and some later Mughals came in their craftsmanship.
Right.
So, but in the recent time, I saw that it was not that much. Like everything looks like not so interesting. So while I was doing in design and mechanical engineering, I was not aware that there is a design course. But in the back of my mind, I was very eager to make things kind of interesting and beautiful.
Mm.
But I came across this course, and then I somehow intuitively felt that this is the best thing I need to do. I worked hard to earn money to go for that course, sustain myself. For like 2, 3 years, I worked after my graduation, and then I went and joined the course. So I was pretty sure something like that is going to be best suited for me. So that intuition was draining me.
Right. Right. Okay. Cool. So, so in the 19 years of your journey,
Hmm.
the field of design,
Hmm.
if you have to summarize that in one word,
Hmm.
what would that word be?
Hard work,
Hard work.
yeah,
Okay.
continuous hard work
Hmm.
and belief.
All right. So I think unless one is passionate, hard work is not possible.
Yeah, yeah, no.
Absolutely not possible. Because a lot of people will turn away just looking at the word hard work. Oh my
Hmm.
God, I have to do so much work. So this is not for me, probably. You know, yeah. Passion.
Yeah, yeah.
Should-
Actually, I'm going from the nucleus. What creates success is hard work, and to
Right.
do the hard work, you need to have passion.
Hmm.
To have a passion, you need to have belief.
Right.
Like that, these are all sequential psychological steps.
Absolutely.
But I have seen people say, "I'm very passionate about design."
Hmm.
They do it in a surface level.
Hmm.
Uh, it does not like there are like two coins. I have passion, so that means so where is the work?
Hmm. Yeah.
So only when you have a passion, you said passion is like a driving force for you to work.
Hmm.
Finally, work matters. Actually, if I say this like hard work, people will go away. No, no, I don't want to do hard work. They'll say smart work. But smart work comes after the hard work.
Right.
Smart work is not a bypass for hard work.
Right.
Smart work is a nectar of hard work. Actually.
Hmm. 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 Good point. Good point. Yeah. So working hard will make you smart.
Of
So
course.
yeah.
For example, now I tell to my clients,
Hmm.
okay, you can get this product manufactured in 40 days from now if you would come to me.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
That means I'll do the design in, let's say, 2 to 3 weeks time, and then after that it can go for some tooling up production for small products.
Hmm.
So if someone has to compete with me to do a design in 3 weeks, depending upon their expertise, they have to work for 6 weeks, 9 weeks, 12 weeks, or 1 week.
Hmm.
See, this experience, like for example, how many designs I would have thought till now. For each product, if I assume 50 concepts I have thought about,
Hmm.
50 successful designs means already you have thought lot, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So at this stage, I get a smart work. That means like, okay, what
Hmm.
is exactly I need to do to get the final concept at as early as possible. This is smartness.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. The experiences that you gain through hard work will make you smart.
Correct, correct.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. So, Saraja Puranik is asking, so you being a mechanical engineer helped you being a very good designer as you know the technical side of automobile.
Correct.
Is correct.
Yeah, yeah.
So, for someone who is going into transportation design at a BDES level,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so um, what things he or she should be considering, since they're not going into a proper mechanical engineering course, they are going into a transportation design course.
Mm.
Okay, so what advice would you give them?
Okay. I'll tell you this one very specifically. See, in mechanical engineer, when we study, there are various subjects we do. We study language, we study maths, we study physics, chemistry,
Hmm.
we study applied mechanics, strength of materials, design theory, we study manufacturing, production, or whatever it is. So, put together, there are around 55 subjects you clear to clear an engineering BTech.
Hmm.
Out of which, when you want to do a mechanical engineering, you do around 30 subjects. In the 30 subjects, you do hardcore mechanical engineering of 15 subjects.
Hmm.
So, once you get into transportation design, whenever you get to see, use your time to go and learn about suspension system, self-learning, if it is not been taught in the curriculum. Try to learn about suspension system from your open source media like YouTube or Google or whatever. Like that, have a schedule and try to understand every aggregate of automobile design. And provided the course will help you in understanding the history of design evolutions and everything. So when you keep learning about aggregate level designs like suspension design, system design, what is a steering system, what is a fuel injection system, what is an engine system. So again, I answered earlier the passion, no?
Right.
And then the belief, and then the hard work. Hard work comes in going out of the way to understand many things and coming back to the class with knowledge. Saying, yes, I understand what is this suspension, what is the key angles and dimensions which is required to make a design of a suspension, and what kind of a suspension will give me the design uh, outlook or a stance for a vehicle. So you have to learn yourself. If you don't learn, you will not succeed. It's very simple as that.
Right. Right. I think apart from what they teach in the school, a student will also need to be open to learning
Correct.
and exploring on his own,
Mm.
not just wait for the school to teach him, like what happens generally from first grade to 12th grade. You know,
Mm.
they primarily depend on what is taught in the school. In
Mm.
a design school, you have to go out to understand on your own,
Correct.
isn't it? I mean, that kind of a drive has to be there to be successful, to understand and explore on your own, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so the design school, if it is at a bachelor's level, it is 4 years. If it's a master's level, it is 2 years. But the learning never stops,
No.
right? So every day, every moment, every project, there is an opportunity to learn and explore. And I think that is what a successful industrial designer learns
Correct.
at school. So he learns the methodology, the process, the way to being curious and learn on his own.
Correct.
Those are the skills that you need to pick up in a design school,
Yeah.
because that's what gonna help you go for years to come.
Yes.
Like Gokul has done 35 different projects, very successful, sold globally, and generated a few thousand crores of rupees, probably, right, Gokul?
Yeah. Yeah. For the organization, it is like that.
Organizations. Yeah, yeah. So I think there's a fantastic journey, fantastic learnings, Gokul. Thank you for sharing. It has been almost 19 years, probably even I had met you, right? And there's so much that has happened in these 19 years. Very, very happy and proud to see those 35 projects that you have done. And the last project was a complete surprise for me. I was never expecting that. All right. So, and it's a fantastic product. I'm going to go to Amazon and I'm going to buy one of those. And I'm going to definitely see that. Okay. Um, so, Gokul, thank you so much for being with us on a Sunday evening. Thank you for accepting our invitation, sharing your ideas, okay, sharing your journey. It was very, very useful, okay.
Mm,
And in each of these e-meets, there is something or something new or the other that I am learning personally, and it is also great to get in touch with all the leading industrial designers of India.
mm,
Right? So, um, thank you so much for your time. And I would like to thank all the audience who have participated here. And for all those who are going to watch it later on, this live video, it is going to be made available on YouTube. Okay, and there are so many people who could not make it on this particular time. They can come and watch this video, right? I would like to thank all of them. The opportunity of being attending the live is, if you have any questions, you can chat with us in the live chat, and we could directly ask the the invited industrial designer or design professional, right? So that is advantage that you get. But anyway, thanks for the audience. Thanks for Gokul for this great e-meet. And Gokul from DQ Labs, we wish you loads and loads of success. We would definitely would like to see your Blue Spider being a global brand and being sold all across the world, right? And we would definitely would like to see you the billionaire design entrepreneur of India. Right?
yeah.
Thank you, Gokul, so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all so much. All right. Okay. So I'm just gonna stop this e-meet now.